This is what Phoebe.
Hey everybody, it's PJ. So Jade literally just finished clipping the nails on the puppies and the door opened and I thought it was Creighton or Ashton and it was Lacey. Lacey pushed the door open all by herself and proceeded to allow this, which she's really ready to wean them completely. It's amazing me that she's still standing. Yeah. But she's still standing and even allowing this much. But comfy? She's such a good mom. She's like, I can't believe I'm letting them do this. I have those feelings myself sometimes when I'm like, I can't believe I'm letting my children do this. Oh, they're so funny. So Jade and I are we're just about to power up the clicker, which as soon as they're done with this, we'll show you what we're doing with that. You could change that litter if you wanted while you're waiting. I know that's high on your list. We have to wash that crate. Is there a hose down there? Do you have any suggestions? Okay. Jade looks really confused, like, you... So this is a litter. People ask how often we change the litter. The older they get, the more often we're changing it. But see down at the bottom, it's all getting all dusty. Oh, yeah, let's not let all the puppies out.
Give all my luggage.
Lacey just wanted to blow in. So that litter we could have changed last night. We had a crazy day yesterday. Yesterday didn't go quite according to plan. Oh, that's a great spot to pee. No, puppies, no. Smash puppies. There's a garbage bag here, Jade. You want one? She didn't hear me. Okay. Whoa. You guys pee so much. You already had your morning pee. Like.
Is there a garbage bag?
I said there's a garbage bag right there. Watch out. One. Two. I always tell you guys, because I know people are going to yell at me, this is not a cleaning job. Right now I'm just moving the pee around so it dries, and then when the puppies are all gone, then I actually clean. So don't get all, you're going to yell at me for that. Jennifer says, how many times a day does mom still feed? Not very often. Once or twice. And like when she's serious and really lets them actually get something, maybe once. So, I don't, let's just put it this way. I don't consider them getting any nutrition.
That's still pretty spectacularly at the bottom.
All right, well, as I said, they're getting older and needs to be changed more frequently, so.
They don't like this loud noise.
Again, we spend a lot of time exposing them to new stuff. We saw Jade pause, wait for them to come back, do it again.
Yeah, I was about to say, you guys may have thought I was just being cruel, but I was just trying to make sure they know new things.
You don't want to ever do it where it's terrifying. Like there's a balancing. You know, you want them to startle a little bit, and then you want them to recover. If your puppies are not recovering, then you have to back off a little bit. And as I said earlier, they're into their 5th week, which somewhere around 5 weeks they usually have a fear period. So you have to be even more careful and aware that that's going on. No, Lacey hasn't slept with them at night for a long time. Basically, since she got through the wall. So someone was in here till they were 2 weeks old. So sometime after 2 weeks old. Sometime after 2 weeks old. We got to order more of that, Jade. We're going to be very upset with ourselves if we run out.
It smells so good.
What does it smell like?
Cleaner.
Cleaner?
It smells like lemon.
Smells like lemon. Okay.
This one's harder to...
Alright, so let's talk about clicker training. Alright? We did not do clicker training with any of our existing dogs. These are the first dogs that we are doing clicker training with. We did a form of clicker training with Castle and Beckett. We used a verbal word instead of the clicker because they were not born here. Oh, don't eat the pellets. Get them out. Get them out. Yeah, do that.
Wait.
They both did. They're both chewing on. So we did a form of this protocol with Castle and Beckett, but because they were not born here, we couldn't do clicker training with them starting this young. So we did not do the clicker. We just did just get them out. All right, so Jade's got her clicker on her wrist. I have a couple. I have one in my pocket. I showed you guys this the other day. It just makes the clicker sound. But that one's a little less loud, so I'm going to probably use my green one instead, which is a little louder.
And
so
a different sound, so I don't want them to get...
Yeah, so ours, these sound the same. They're just a different brand. That's why they sound different.
Okay. Who are we doing first?
Who are we doing first? Just go in order. All right, so basically, right now, we are not rewarding them for... Dude, I didn't put the other mat in for you. We are not rewarding them. We are not asking them for any particular behavior at all. All we are doing is making the clicking sound and giving them a treat. In this case, scrambled eggs or an omelet, whatever you want to call it. So she's just going to... Well, hold on. You're going to... This is...
You don't need more than that. I need
more than that. But I don't want that falling on his head and undoing. Okay, so we're not asking anything of the puppy right now. We're just clicking and feeding the treat. Again, this is scrambled eggs. You can do anything, liverwurst, cream cheese.
And you also you want to wait a little while. You don't want him to be like getting up here for the food because that's not what you're trying to do.
Right.
You don't want to constantly be feeding them.
Right.
You just want to say, here's a sound, this is what you get for it.
Right. Nothing. Stop. You've got food and they're hungry. We haven't fed them. So the other day we fed them we could do it on the mat if you think that's easier. I just didn't put the mat in because it got messy last time. Are you counting? I think that was 4. We introduced them to food without the clicker the other day to get them to learn to eat from our hand, because that was the first time they've eaten from our hand. Jade's being more patient than I would be. I would be going a lot faster than she is. I'd be like, 1, 2.
Well, I don't want him to think it's just a feeder. I want him to realize that it's the clicker that...
I didn't say you were doing it wrong. I said you were being more patient than I was. So what the goal of clicker training is to teach young puppies that they can offer a behavior and get a reward. So every time they hear that clicker, that click, they get a food treat. And then what will happen is, as we look for specific behaviors, we will click and give them the treat.
It's 9.
I was going to say good, because I stopped counting.
You're giving me the look.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's 10, but I'm just going to feed him this.
Okay,
Will be 12.
Okay. I also have more. Okay, says they have 3 Cece? I don't know how that, if I said that properly, that are clicker trained. Love it. Yeah, so I've been working, I haven't finished it yet. I'm a long way. Am I still eating this, or are you just playing? Let's not eat the... That's Mason. He'll have to call me back.
Okay, we need the next puppy.
Okay. Oh, you hit your elbow.
Yeah, we'll be fine.
These puppies now, the biggest 3 are over 10 pounds. They are heavy. They are heavy duty puppies. Again, I have more because... And that is you call that powering up the clicker. And it's just helping them to associate the, now this is Phoebe, who didn't do so well eating out of her hands the other day, so we'll see if she... Jade was not happy with her. That only counts as 2.
I don't want it to be so far away.
Okay, that makes much more sense. I was like, see, I've never heard of that breed. Aussies makes much more sense. Yeah, so we are very, very excited about this protocol.
Much better this time.
We've been studying it for a while. You guys will be amazed at what these young puppies are going to be able to do. I'm excited.
I haven't been counting.
Call that 4, unless Facebook says differently. We have one job to count the clicks. We can't do that.
You have one job. I have multiple. I have to tear this apart. Oh. I have to click. I have to feed. I have to do so many things, Mom. My job is so hard.
In case you are unaware and unfamiliar with Jade, she is being completely sarcastic. My girl is a lot of things. A whiner is not one of them.
Sarcastic is one of them.
Sarcastic is one of them, yes. We are... It is one of our what word do I want to use? It is not one of our more favorable traits, but we are a sarcastic family.
What do you mean favorable?
Sarcasm is not, it's
not, people don't really love it.
Right. I wouldn't say it's a positive trait, sarcasm.
What?
Now I stopped counting again. Is that 8?
I don't care. I'm just gonna finish feeding him whatever you give me.
Okay, I'm gonna give you a little bit more, cause
I know.
just a little bit, because we're gonna have leftover eggs again. Now the eye roll, that, however, is my daughter sometimes. That's funny. All right, so again, for those of you just joining us, this is clicker training. Right now, we are just doing what's called powering up the clicker, which means we are just equating that click sound with food. It is a way of training very young puppies. They will be rewarded with the click and food for behavior that
She gets it a lot better than Chandler does.
that we are looking for. For example, and you'll see this in upcoming days. Right now, we are not asking any behavior of them. They just can do whatever they want, and we're going to click and give them the...
Well, the thing is, Phoebe's kind of getting it because whenever I click, she's looking towards me.
Yeah. So the next behavior, and I don't want to get ahead of ourselves. Right now, we're just associating the click with food, kind of like a Pavlov response. You ring the bell, you get food. So that click means that they're doing the right thing. They're doing the behavior that we want.
All right. Time to go. Next pup.
You're done.
Are we feeding them their bones after this, or?
I was gonna give them some kibble and see how they did with that.
Okay.
Come here, Heavy.
Did you just say come here, Hippie?
Heavy.
Okay, it was like Joey's not
Well, you
Hippie.
gotta balance him just right because he's so heavy. Got him?
Mm-hmm.
That's my big boy. She smells it on your hand.
Yeah.
So, again, we talk a lot about how you have to set your puppy up for success. We have not fed them. They've not had their food. So if we had fed them and then tried to do this and they were full, this would not be working. So you have to plan your day and what you're doing. That's why we never actually got to this yesterday. We had intended to do this yesterday, and we just couldn't work it around around feeding times and stuff. So again, for those of you just joining us, clicker training. We're just powering up the clicker. We're just teaching them that click means food from our hand. We are using scrambled eggs. You can use any number of soft treats, liverwurst, cream cheese. What are some other wet dog food?
Enthusiastic.
And then we will be clicking them for specific behaviors. We will start with them looking at us. Every time they look at us, they will get a click and a treat. Then we will start with sitting like this. And we won't say sit. It's just when they do the behavior, they get clicked and get a treat. And what it's teaching them is that they can be rewarded for certain good behaviors. And then they will start to... we will start to work on recall. We will start to say, come puppy, and when the puppy comes to us, they get clicked and get a treat. There goes the mop.
That time we did it, it looked straight at me.
Yeah. Looking at you is an excellent behavior in puppies. You really want puppies to engage in eye contact. It is not a bad thing if they don't, like, it doesn't mean like the dog is ruined or it's, a psycho puppy or anything like that, but it is something that you want to encourage and something that you want to reward.
No.
Looking in your eyes is, it releases oxytocin. It helps you bond with the puppy and the puppy bond with you. They have done studies that show that people are happier with their dogs and happier with the relationship with their dogs the more eye contact the owner and the dog engage in. So it's something... Do you want to come and play with me? Do you want to come and play with me? Oh, you're such a toughie. Oh, you're such a good boy. Oh, you're such a good boy.
You not like dry eggs.
Yes, you are. What?
I don't like dry eggs. They're disgusting.
We can do a different treat if you want. We can get to the store and get some liverwurst, but you can't eat it. You have to give it to the puppies. Julian says she would love your job. Kay says her daughter can make the sound with her tongue that makes it so much easier than having to remember the clicker all the time. But she can also take her dogs anywhere and they behave. She even shows them. Yeah, it's really, you know, and it. So, stop eating the wood. Stop eating that.
Stop it. I'm not going to give it to you if you climb it all.
What was I saying? I was saying something.
You also want to make sure that they don't think that just because they're looking for it, they automatically get it. So I'm not like consciously not doing it when he's climbing up on me, but when he's not expecting it is when I do the sound, and I do it because that's when he knows it's not like, oh, it's not because.
Right. Even though we're powering up and we're not expecting certain behavior right now, we also don't want to be rewarding the behavior that we don't want.
And you also don't want him thinking, oh, if I climb up on her, I get food. And not looking at the clicker as a sound, but of him doing a certain behavior. He's just sitting there looking at me like,
Can I have some food? Can I have some food? Cheryl says, once you begin the clicker introduction, how frequently do you continue the use of the clicker? You could continue it the rest of the dog's life if you wanted, but probably like up till 16 weeks. I mean, Jade and I will have clickers with us either in our pockets or on our wrists pretty much all the time when we're, but you have to have treats. So like it has to be intentional. You know, you don't want to get to the clicker without giving them the treat as well. So the thing with puppies is, come here, sleepyhead, is it's a very, it's a short thing, right? Even though this takes a while, you know, you really want to train puppies for 60 seconds, you know, to 2 minutes at the most, right? You don't want to sit here and have these half-hour sessions with the puppies. Not only will you get less and less response over time, but you'll lose what they've learned because the puppies, they record that memory, that training in their sleep and their rest time. And if you just keep making them work and making them work and making them work, then they don't get it. They don't retain it. So it's very short. One of the treats that we used with Beckett and Castle were dried liver treats, which are nice because they're not sticky and you can just have them in your pocket or a bag.
They're not dry.
You're so goofy.
It's like no texture.
Julie says, you get a good dog as long as you do the work a lot of times. Yeah, you know, one of my biggest fears, to be perfectly honest, one of my biggest fears is that we're going to do all of this work and, you know, someone's going to undo all of the work we've done with the puppies. And so that's why we do a really, you know, we talk to the people that who are getting the puppies. We are providing them with information. We're giving them training information. We'll be, Jade and I will probably do a couple of videos for the owners, the new owners, you know, and I don't believe, so here's my philosophy, right? In the dog world, you know, there can be a lot of
Too late. You got it.
There can be a lot of very cliquish elitist behavior, and that's the same with everything. That's the same with goats. It's the same, you know, it's that can happen. And the problem is you have to have a place for people who know nothing to start, and you have to be willing to work with them, and you have to be willing to help them, and you have to be willing to train them. You know, it takes time. I mean, the hours Jade and I have put into studying this stuff and learning this stuff and whatnot is something because it's important to us. But, you know, I mean, this is our first litter that we're training this way, and I know over time we're going to get so much better at it. Oh, stop fussing. It's just eggs.
Just squirted something on my
You're
leg.
so silly.
Better be butter. Whatever it squirted.
Oh, I'm sorry. I used lard. We had no butter. The butter container was empty.
Now lard's all over my legs. Thanks, Mom.
Lard's a good moisturizer.
Thanks, Mom.
Thanks, Chrissy. That's very kind of you. It means a lot. Jennifer says, how late is too late to introduce to the clicker? Okay, so what we did with Castle and Beckett. So we didn't start Castle and Beckett until they were probably 16 and 20. No, Castle's 3 months older. So, probably 4 and 6 months-ish. And so we went straight to the word yes. And so everything Jade's doing with the clicker, we did with the word yes. We literally sat there and said yes, gave him a piece of a treat. Yes, gave him a treat. Because they were older, we did it about 20 times. These guys are younger, so we're only doing it in the 12 to 15 range. It's called powering up, and so we did it with the word yes. So we didn't even think to try it with the clicker at that point, to be perfectly honest. We did it with the word yes, and it worked well. And there is a benefit to that. At that age when they're with their forever homes. The reason... You're so pathetic. Somebody was in the... Oh, Jade had a problem with her eyes last night. Yeah, you were up for that. The problem... I should say the problem. The reason we don't use the word yes with the puppies is because the clicker is a very consistent sound, right? Different people say yes different ways. Anybody can have the clicker. You're not Rachel. Anybody can have the clicker. It sounds the same. The puppies are, expect the same. And so that's why it's good to do that. So you can still do the same concept. I know, you and I. But with the word yes, if you want. And you can obviously you can use any word. I wouldn't use their name.
Tired. Yes, we are. You're so tired. You still hungry though? You are. Mm-hmm. And some food. I can give you some eggs.
Yes, and Jolene says a very, very good point. Any dog can be trained, but the older they are, it takes longer, and that's excellent.
I can't break my fingers through this. What did you do?
You want the other piece?
I don't know.
She's making fun of the eggs that I cooked for the puppies. I gave it to you. I didn't scramble them. I just made an omelet. Oh,
it's just all white.
Right, and that's exactly it. You can, and so it's different with older dogs, right? I talk a lot about these videos about you have 12 weeks to get your puppy trained when everything is easy. Your puppy is so trainable before 12 weeks. Everything is super easy, takes so much shorter. You're going to be amazed at how these puppies will come better than Beckett and Castle ever do. All of those, recall is so much easier. Walking with you is so much easier. All of it is just a lot easier. And then, up to 16 weeks for a lot of some of those more advanced behavior, not advanced, but, some of the ones that people would consider some of the secondary behaviors. But all of the animals can learn it, absolutely. It just takes longer and is harder. And it's more of a conditioned response than it is an behavior, I guess. Jolene says at least it's not poop.
Yeah, I would mind poop less.
Hashtag farm kid.
Lard and poop are so different, but lard's more disgusting. I don't know.
Lard doesn't bother me.
It only bothers me because we once had those donuts and they tasted exactly like lard. It was bad. I ate like 6 of them. It was too much.
All right, so as soon as she's done with Rachel, we're going to get these guys some other food. I'm probably just going to give them some kibble. They've been eating kibble. Monica had a little bit of trouble with it yesterday. She ate too fast and then threw it up. But we don't have any milk or anything here, right?
No.
So we'll just give them a little bit of kibble.
Mom, you've got a string.
You have a string?
On the other side.
Is that bothering you?
Yes, it's flowing.
All right.
It's still there.
Okay, well, I'll get it later. So I'm going to give them, well, let me wait till you're done.
And now she's climbing up my chest.
And then they're going to take a nap. And then later on, we will do a couple of probably eye exercises later today, where we click and give them treats every time they look at us. You done? How much more you got? I don't want them to...
Done.
Okay. How many times was that? That didn't seem very often.
It was enough.
I don't know if they're even hungry, but
They are.
they should be.
Food puppies! Food puppies! Told you.
Okay, that is probably way too much for them to eat, so.
I'm gonna go wash this clicker. It's full of lard.
So hopefully they don't. I'm gonna only let them have this for so long. I have not been showing, but they've been eating Lacey's, what Lacey spills. They've been eating and not having any trouble with it. So I just haven't shown it on Facebook. So they probably were introduced to kibble 4 days ago.
Technically, they were introduced to kibble like day 1.
Wow.
If you want to be technical.
Carolyn says, need a bigger bowl. Actually, Carolyn, if I got a bigger bowl, they would still do exactly the, you know what, we could even show you. They all just crowd together like this. They're fine. And the other thing that this does is, okay, did you wipe up? You gotta wipe up those eggs first, if there's any on there. It helps them with resource guarding. You'll see that they're not growling at each other. They're not snapping at each other. They're not saying, give me the food, get away. I would just get a paper towel because it's just going to all stick to the broom.
It's just going to all stick to the paper towel.
Well, that's what I want.
No, it just you have to sweep it up with a paper towel.
All right.
It just separates.
All right. Do you want to give them their bones or no?
That's your choice.
I don't want them to eat too much of this.
I know you always mop. If I had to guess, I think this will be enough for them. We'll probably feed them in around 2 hours. Also,
You know what? Since we didn't give them any milk, we should get them some water too.
What time is it?
It is 12:26. So yes to bones or no to bones?
We need to get them stuffed here because I'm probably going to be leaving around 4 or 5. And I'm going to feed them right before them, so.
Okay, so we're leaving.
When are you leaving?
We're leaving at 5.
When will you be back?
I don't know.
Then if you could feed them at 5, that'd be better because then because I don't know when we'll be back. I mean, obviously not too late, but I mean, I don't know when it gets dark, but usually, like, what's this next life is?
Yeah, Jillian says being in rescue, she's trained young and old and much rather train puppies. Yeah, it's just, everybody's happier. Alright, I think that's I'll probably take that away from them. Wow, they ate more than I thought they would.
What?
Monica made me nervous with her vomiting. I don't want them to over. Can I have that, puppies? You guys still look like you're starving now.
I don't know. I have to head back to the house because I promised Indy I'd be there. So I'm gonna head back to the house.
Yeah, we said this litter could go to their new homes at 8 weeks. If anybody is being transported for far distances, then I ask that they stay longer to crate train because I don't want to traumatize the puppy on a long trip if they have to be in a crate. So 8 to 10 weeks. In the future, Jade and I are talking. We might require the puppies have another fear spike at between 8 and 9 weeks, and so Jade and I are talking about waiting until after that and with the next litter. But I told this litter they could go home at 8. So no, Rachel's still eating. That was Phoebe, I believe, over in the litter. All right, you can put Phoebe back. You put the litter back. Oh wait, let's get them water real quick. See if they don't want any water. You know what? They did drink from Lacey a little bit, but can you do that? It's hard one-handed. Angela says, "Is it not weird that they lay where they go to the bathroom? I thought that's the one place they wouldn't lay." Well, you have to remember these are still half pier, even though they're not full pier, and pier go. Pier and poop is kind of synonymous, right? That doesn't surprise me at all that they like that. They like the feel. We have a mat coming for them. Because different breeds like different substrates, different flooring, different materials, and so
Different heat, like
right.
They might not like dog beds because they're probably going to simulate heat, and these guys they have very thick fur. So.
Right. All right. I don't think any of them want that. Okay, we can put them back.
They ate all of them basically.
Well, that's why I put that much in because, I mean, it seemed like a lot, but when there's 5 of them, it's not all that much.
Hey, come here, Joanne.
Let's close up here. This is hard to close one-handed.
Seriously, Phoebes.
Yes. Nice, Jade. I need help over here. There we go. Okay, so for those of you, oh, they see they got water. Did you want to give them a? Someone said, "Do you take them on car rides to get them used to the car? Mine got sick from puppy." Yes and no. We've not up to this point. They go on Thursday to the vet at 6 weeks. If I went out more, I would take the puppies with me, probably, one at a time, but we don't go out very often. And so that's one of those things that I'm going to have to work on, because it's not an easy behavior for us humans to instill. So this is Joey's new behavior. Go ahead, you can put them away. This is Joey's new behavior, this howling. And the last time I videoed him doing this and us not comforting him, not everybody, but some people got very upset with me. And this is very intentional on our part, okay? We purposely do not give in to this howling. This is a puppy that has had food. The only thing is, I might have Jade just see if he wants some water. Just make sure he's not thirsty. Here, no, bring it to him. This is a puppy that is fed. He has companionship. He has a place to go to the bathroom. He needs to self-soothe and comfort himself and learn to go to sleep without us rescuing him. If you rescue your dogs when they behave like this, then you will set yourself up with a dog that howls and cries and screams to get his way. And that is not a dog that you want. So do not give in to your puppy when they behave with whining, but do not set your puppy up to fail, right? Do not, like, if your puppy is truly feeling traumatized, if your puppy is truly feeling scared, right? Like, so for example, the easy example is the crate, right?
Mom, that was just flowing.
Do not ever take a puppy that's not used to a crate and lock him in a crate and walk away. That is traumatizing to your puppy. That is a puppy that is you are undoing everything, every good that you have done. So you have to know your puppy. You have to know when they're safe. You have to know when it's okay, and you have to let them self-soothe. And Timothy says it's the same with children, and that is exactly, you have to remember, with children and with puppies, you cannot reward, take the plate. You cannot reward bad behavior, right? You can't do it. The best way to raise children and puppies is to reward positive behavior. Give them the behavior and reward them when they do the right thing instead of punishing them when they do the wrong thing. But we as parents and as dog owners, we teach our kids and our puppies the bad behavior, okay? And I can be guilty of it too. I use the example of Beckett. Beckett gets so excited to see me that she jumps. And it is so difficult for me to completely ignore her, to not give her any attention, any feedback at all when she does that. Because my natural reaction is to put my arms around her and calm her down. And that is the wrong behavior. That just makes her jump more because she is getting positive reinforcement from me for doing that. And so same thing with puppies. Just make sure you have all their needs met, everything is okay, and allow them to learn this. Now, it is interesting to me that Chandler did this first, and Chandler did it maybe twice, and then Joey started, and Joey is being a lot more persistent in this. So I find that very, very interesting with his temperament. So Joey's a little more I don't want to say stubborn, strong-willed, maybe. So that's something, as we place puppies, something that we learn. And remember, just like with children, with puppies, those behaviors, people, I say strong-willed, and people say, oh, I don't want that puppy. I don't want a strong-willed puppy. Well, there's a lot of really positive traits that come with being a strong-willed puppy. Right? It's not all negative. Strong-willed puppies will be independent. They will pick up things very quickly. It's not all bad. It's just something that you observe, and you know that about your puppies, just like you observe and learn things about your children. So, all right. Well, I am going to clean my mop and mop my floor. That is always the last thing I do every time I'm with the puppies, but I cannot mop one-handed. So I'm going to sign off. I hope you guys all have, and you'll notice how much shorter that was that time. He did not go nearly as long as the last time I filmed. So he's getting it. All right, take care, guys, and we'll talk to you soon.